County judges ruled tonight there is enough evidence to move forward now in the case against the people charged in the death of a couple in Willard. Teresa Cox and Duncan Bogle are charged with second-degree murder in the death of Cox's ex-husband and his girlfriend. This happened back in November. Cox and Bogle ran to California after that murder, but were arrested and brought back to Greene County. 2 other people are charged in this case as well. Both of them testified today. There were 5 witnesses total. The court also heard about Duncan Bogle's web search history, which prosecutors say included searches about guns and murder. We had a crew in the courtroom. We're going to have the latest on the Ozarks, on what happened there on ozarksfirst.com, and also coming up in other newscasts this evening here on Color 10.
Welcome to Inside Evil Interrogations, the channel where we dig into the raw footage of real-life interrogations to uncover the truth behind every pause, contradiction, and emotional crack. In today's case, we examine the intense and emotionally layered interrogation of Mixie Jones, a trans woman accused of helping her lover, Teresa Kane, kill her husband, Alex Kane. The 3 were caught in a tangled web of secrecy, parenting, and alleged abuse. Over 98 minutes, Mixie never outright confesses, but what she says, how she says it, and what she doesn't say tells a different story. Let's break it down every 25 minutes to expose the unraveling mind behind the tears. From the moment Mixie enters the room, she presents herself as emotionally overwhelmed, confused, and terrified. She doesn't ask why she's there. She doesn't deny anything. Instead, she leans into grief, crying about being separated from Sophie, Teresa's daughter, and expresses fears about going to prison. This first stage is all about framing herself as a victim, not a suspect. She repeats emotionally charged phrases like, "I just want my family," "I miss Sophie," and "I'm scared." Detectives know better than to interrupt. This is when a suspect opens up without realizing it. They give her space, gently nudging her to talk, and she does. Even as she claims confusion, she makes emotionally strategic comments, hinting that Alex was scary, that Teresa was hurt, and that she felt helpless. This is early-stage moral positioning. No denial, just hints of justification.
When you come out, or when you're done, or you need something, I'll be in that room right there on the left.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Let me take those off you, okay?
What am I up here for? Or down here for?
I'm going to talk to you in just a second, okay? Let me take these off. Oops, sorry. Okay. You think this is not the first time I've worked a set of handcuffs? Done it twice before. There you go, wiggle. There you go. Good job. And this one is down here. There we go. Okay, so my name is Shannon Shipley, and I'm with the Willard Police Department. Okay, and they sent me down to contact you. I want to talk to you, and I want you to hear me. Okay. Prior to doing that, though, I have to read you your Miranda rights, and so I'm going to do that. And I want you to give me a chance and listen to me so that we're all on the same page. Okay? Do you want to wear your mask?
It's okay. I'll leave it on then.
Okay, that's fine. If you feel more comfortable, do you want me to wear my mask or do you care?
Honestly, yeah, I don't mind either way. I think these things are uncomfortable for
I believe that I've already experienced the COVID, so I think that I am cootie free. And if anyone else has cooties, I think I'm still immune to cooties. So I'm gonna read this to you, and then again, I want you to hear me out on this, okay? You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say may be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer and have him present with you while you're being questioned. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you before any questioning if you wish. You can decide at any time to exercise these rights and not answer any questions or make any statements. Do you understand those? Okay. Here's the thing. A lot has gone down in a little bit of time, and everybody is scared. All right? Everybody. And I don't know if you know, but I'm sure you know, you're here in jail in a lot of company, right? And I think the only one that's been released is Theron. Somebody posted his bond, all right? Other than that, Matt's here, Teresa's here, you're here. And like I said, everybody is scared, and now fingers are starting to point. All right. In addition to all of that, we're getting a ton of information coming in from everybody's cell phone, because just because a person loses their cell phone, tosses their cell phone, clears their cell phone, you know as well as I do, that information exists on the cloud. So all of these service providers, Google and all of that, they're giving us back all the goods. We have, trails following everybody. You're going to get one opportunity, because everybody's pointing at you, Mixie. Everybody's pointing at you. You're going to have one opportunity to put your side of the story out there. Other than that, people that you thought were your friends are not your friends. Okay? Don't be fooled, because they are all scared and they're all singing like canaries. All right? They want you to take the whole heat for this, and I know that's not true. You're a young person, and I talked to Grandma for a little while. She told me that you have a little bit of some psychiatric issues that you could take medication for if you chose to. She told me that you're young and you're very easily manipulated. No, that's okay, but that's Grandma's opinion, okay? I didn't bring any Kleenex. What I have for you
I knew this was coming.
is a mask. Okay. I'm gonna get you Kleenex. I'm gonna yell out for old what's his name there. Is that okay? All right. Or you can use the jail outfit, because they're just gonna wash it anyway.
You were out in front of the courthouse, weren't you?
What?
Whenever all those people surrounded the red car, you were one of the people out in front of the court. I remember.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. It shouldn't be.
Right now, you're the only advocate for yourself. And the thing that pisses me off is that I believe without a lot of help, this thing would have never happened. A lot of help and a lot of pressure. And I already know that. Again, we talked to Harriet. Harriet's concerned about you. Harriet was concerned before and after. You do have a lot of friends and a lot of people that love you, but I don't want you to get your, get your people wrong, okay? Grandma and Grandpa, they love you. Harriet cares deeply, deeply about you. But your short-term friends, they're not your friends, okay?
I was told by everybody, even the lawyers, to just wait until I talk to a lawyer. I'm not supposed to say anything.
Okay. If that's what you choose to do, it's fine.
So I don't know what to do.
Well, the decision is completely yours, but I'm telling you that you are your own advocate, because none of these people sitting in jail are looking out for you, okay? You have one chance to tell me how this whole thing happened, and mostly I care about who was involved, okay? Because I know it wasn't just you. As a matter of fact, I know who it was and her idea and her pressure and her use of your emotions and your affection to get done what she wanted to do. So this is the thing. I can't make a decision for you. That decision is completely yours. You can choose to talk to me or you don't have to. But if you choose to talk to me, you're going to get your side of it out. All right? Because I already got everybody else's side of it. And I know that if it wasn't for pressure from Tree, this thing would have never happened. Would have never happened. So you tell me what you want to do. I know you're confused. But I can tell you things aren't going to get any worse than they are right now.
I don't see them getting any better anyway.
What?
I said I don't see them getting any better.
Well, right now, you're kind of at a crossroads where you have to make a decision for yourself. Do you want to protect Matt and Theron and Tree? Or do you want to clarify how this thing came to birth? Siri had already told us that this has been an ongoing pressure, ongoing I want to say a plan, an ongoing plan. Everybody who crossed Tree's path heard about what she believed about Alex. Everybody. There's not a single person that I've talked to that didn't know the ins and outs of what she believed was going on between Alex and Sophie. And I know she was pissed about Children's Division making all the decisions they made. I know that she probably felt that it was unfair. You're very lucky in the fact that you have an ex-wife. Is she your ex-wife? Or is she kind of just the gal that you have kids with?
She's just the girl I had kids with.
Okay. She is very supportive of your relationship with the kids, and she thinks that you're a good dad and, you know, a good influence on the kids, and she wants you to visit and be a part of their life. Not every parent experiences that, and so it becomes difficult when people, sorry, I'm gonna turn that down. It becomes difficult when people are in that, let's just say, push and pull and power struggle over the kids because they don't think that they're getting their right to parent, you know. And being a parent is a very important thing. It's very important to both the parent and the kid. And when people are fighting back and forth over that, it makes it very unpleasant. It makes you, you know, hot under the collar, mad. And especially if you think that your child's being hurt in that other parent's care. I get it. The will to, you know, get something done. She reached out to Children's Division and to attorneys and all that sort of stuff, and it kept blowing back in her face. I understand that. So I can see where the pressure would mount, you know.
I already read the reports. I know what Matt and Darren have said.
What?
I already read the reports. I know what Matt and Darren said.
Mm-hmm.
Your name was on the report. Mr. Corporal Purdy, his name was on the report. I remember him. He was the short one with the reddish hair.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I already knew they were going to bring me in here. There ain't nothing I can say.
That's it? Okay. Well, there's information that came back that is not in that report because the information, like I said, it just keeps pouring in and pouring in. All right, we've got the ballistics back from the lab. The ballistics show that that the casings were fired by the weapon that was recovered in the water.
I remember that. That was in the report.
That was not in the report.
It was in a report.
Which report?
There was they gave me a whole package of papers whenever I was in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
It said that the ballistics, it said that the casings were cellar and bellet and that they were traced back to the rounds that were they were traced back to the rounds that were fired at that night. And then I also saw the report about the raid on our house. I saw the report about the divers team.
Mm-hmm.
I saw everything. I know everything. There's nothing anybody can say that they know that I don't already know that you guys know.
Okay. So then I guess it comes down to what part did everybody play in this?
I guess that's the part that nobody knows then.
Well, what I need is a confirmation that Matt is being truthful in what he's saying because he's trying to work out a deal right now.
I don't think anybody's going to be truthful in this situation.
You're probably right. Are you?
I have no reason to lie.
Why is that?
I just don't. I'm not a liar. That's not what I do. But that also means I keep my promises.
Okay. Tell me about what you told Harriet.
I can't do that.
What kind of relationship do you and Teresa have?
She's my best friend.
Any more than that?
A little bit. Not a whole lot more. I loved her. I loved Sophie.
Did you wonder how Sophie was doing now?
No, she's okay. She's with her grandparents.
Mhm.
And I know her grandparents are pretty loaded, so they're going to take good care of her and they're going to spoil her.
They love her. I don't know about how loaded they are, but I know that that they love her, and there's going to be some healing necessary for Sophie, but I think that she's young and she's pliable, and it's a hard hit, but I think she's going to be okay.
I know she will. She's a strong, smart kid, just like her mom.
How'd you get along with her?
Whenever I was around to hang out with them, I got along with her real well.
Would you like to play with her?
I taught her how to play Minecraft.
Really?
Yeah.
You started young.
Yeah.
Is she a good kid?
She's a good kid. I can't do this. No. As long as she's okay.
She's okay. She knows what happened, though.
I know she does. But she'll be okay. She'll be okay.
She's going to take some therapy. I mean, these things don't just, heal up on their own. But I think that her grandparents are going to make sure that she gets that therapy and that support that she needs. Do you still love Teresa?
Yes.
How so?
What do you mean?
And do you love her the same that you did? Or is it kind of a love attachment that you're confused by now?
I still love her the same. I always will. That's never gonna change.
Tell me about the best part of your relationship with her.
Just any time that we get to spend together, anytime. I remember shortly before Halloween, her and I took Sophie out to a corn maze, and Sophie kept getting scared by the monsters in the corn maze, so I picked her up and I carried her through the maze. We just all laughed and we had a good time. And I had some good friends with us too. Some friends that have a child of their own. Very good, responsible parents. I've known them since high school. Which wasn't very long ago for me, but still. I just loved being around her and Sophie. I loved Sophie. And I loved Teresa. Sophie, I looked at her like a kid of my own, even though I never got to see her very much. And I don't know how things were between her and her dad. I don't know how things were between her and Teresa. I felt, like maybe things were being kept from me on both ends, and I really wanted everybody to just sit down and talk.
When they interviewed Sophie, based on the allegations that Teresa made about sexual abuse, when they interviewed Sophie, she actually said that it was Teresa that was hurting her, not her dad. Now, I don't know. Here's the thing: you can say to a kid anything, and they start repeating stuff. But I know that didn't work out in Tree's favor. I don't know. I don't know what signs she was displaying that would cause anyone to believe that happened. I don't know what evidence there is to say that either one of them was or was not abusing her. I don't know. Did you see anything?
I never saw Teresa do anything to hurt her. She was always happy to see Tree whenever she got home. Teresa cooked her 3 meals a day, every single day, and, the first several times that I came over, Sophie was completely normal. She had acted, pretty much fine. She'd acted like a normal kid. And then she started getting her back. It was, shortly after I started riding with her to pick Sophie up, because she said she didn't feel safe picking her up alone. And so I came with her a couple times to pick her up, and Sophie started coming back, and she started she started throwing up her food all the time, and we didn't understand why, and she would run off to the bathroom, and we would catch her pushing on her stomach, making herself throw up in the middle of meals. And And we asked who taught her that, and she said Bree. And me and Teresa never poked her or pried her or anything. We never really asked her any questions about it. She just started bringing up things on her own that just didn't seem right.
What sort of things did she bring up?
She would tell us that, she was getting hit and kicked over at her dad's, and that, I don't know if anybody was making her say it or what. I don't know. I don't want to say anything about that because I don't know what's true. I don't know what's true. I don't know who was hurting who. I don't know anything.
Did you believe at the time that they were hurting her?
I didn't know what to believe.
I understand that. Police work, that happens to me all the time. Sometimes you just don't know what to believe.
And I don't want to waste your time. I'm just talking.
No, it's okay. It's okay. You've got a lot going on, and there's it's a big deal. And based on the interview that I saw of Sophie, I don't know. I don't see any evidence to show that there was any kind of abuse. I just don't see that evidence. Now, if she said something to you like, Dad was touching me or something like that, that would be something completely different. But I never got any indication that there was any kind of abuse going on. So I don't know, but I know that everybody that I talked to said that the tree was constantly talking about how he was abusing her and how she was getting shorted by the Children's Division system, about them making the safety plan and all of that caused her problems in being able to see Sophie and to parent her. How long have you guys been together?
Not very long. We got together in the middle, I want to say probably June or July of last year. Well, we met in June because it was when I started working at Walmart. And for a while we didn't really get together. I'd asked her about it and I told her I liked her, but we never really made anything of it until roughly early July, mid-July. I guess she just liked how I interacted with Sophie, and I had been there for her through some tough times with, guys and things like that. One thing I was always proud of her for was that anytime, she wanted to spend time with a guy, she never brought them home around Sophie. It was never something that she did, which I was proud of because my mom didn't even do that for me. And it led to a lot of crappy situations. I had my mom's boyfriend held me at gunpoint when I was 13 years old.
My God. What for?
We were just arguing. We argued all the time. They argued all the time. Whenever they weren't arguing with each other, they were taking it out on me.
As detectives begin subtly challenging her, Mixie's tone changes. She still cries, but she starts planting seeds, suggesting Teresa may have felt trapped or afraid of Alex. She never accuses him directly, but repeatedly hints. I always worried about her safety. He made her feel small, and I felt like something was wrong. This is narrative groundwork, a slow construction of a moral reason behind the crime. If you can't deny your involvement, you justify it by painting the victim as deserving or dangerous. When confronted with specific facts, like the report of a stolen gun, Mixie doesn't react with shock. Instead, she acts confused. What? That doesn't sound like her? Avoiding the lie while keeping distance from the evidence. This is calculated vagueness, the safest spot between confession and denial. She also starts introducing emotional context, talking about suicide attempts, a past coma, and her deep trauma history. All of it serves a psychological purpose, evoking pity, not suspicion.
I'm sorry, I don't like talking about this stuff.
You don't have to.
I've been through a lot in my life.
Sounds like it. Very fortunate in the fact that your grandma and grandpa love you like you were a kid of their own. And I know you're a grandkid, but there's a special place in their heart for you, and they're very interested in taking care of you, and they're worried about you. And I talked to Grandma for a long time. So, again, in your life, when you run across people that are being unhealthy for you, you need to remember the people that are healthy for you. You know what I mean?
I just don't know if it was unhealthy for me.
You what?
I don't know if it was unhealthy for me. I never do.
Well, you and me and everybody else. That is, sometimes we don't know who's not healthy for us until it becomes a problem. And unfortunately, that's kind of a fact of life. But I think the track record of your parents, or not your parents, I'm sorry, your grandparents, will prove to you that they are healthy and they are supportive. Harriet, healthy, supportive?
There were times where she was, and there were times where she wasn't. She sort of gave up on me whenever I got hospitalized up in San Francisco. She was talking about how 20 million people were going to go homeless at the beginning of this year, and I made a joke, and I think it made me seem crazy, but I was just playing around, and I was like, oh yay, the uprisings are going to begin soon. And she got quiet, and then she hung up on me not long after that, and I just wish I hadn't even made the joke now. I just figured it was okay, because we always joked about revolutions and stuff like that. I mean, that's what our friendship consisted of. I didn't think it was really out of line to have that kind of humor.
Do you think there's forgiveness involved in that conversation?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if anybody wants to talk to me right now.
Well,
I know I've got a good friend at home who I've been talking to, and I've got my family, and they've all been here for me. I'm sure you guys know my Uncle Jesse pretty well.
I don't.
So, other officers do.
Is he a frequent flyer?
My uncle, he's frequently come through these parts a couple times.
Gotcha.
In fact, I had guards here asking me who he was to me, and I was like, that's my uncle. So yeah, I'm sitting where he was about 2 or 3 years ago. I should be sitting at home with my kids, but
Yep.
I miss them. I miss them, I miss Sophie, and I miss Tree. Just want things to be back to normal.
I understand that. I'm not going to shine it up for you and tell you that normal's coming. But at this point, it's about damage control. It's not about getting normal, because I don't believe that normal's coming back.
Mm-hmm.
But I do believe that there's damage control. And I think that you're going to have to offset what's going on between Matt and the prosecutor's office. Because Matt wants out of this, right?
Yeah, I don't know Matt that well. He always seemed a bit off to me, so I don't know what's...
Well, he's maybe off, maybe not, but he's right now one of our people that are trying to flip a deal. You know what I mean? And so flipping a deal means that he's throwing everybody he can under the bus to get himself some kind of sweetheart thing. That's out of my arena. That's for the prosecutors to work out. But the problem is they're gonna select the easiest person to flip that deal, and it's going to be between the two people that are blaming it all on you.
And two people.
What are you going to do to protect Matt?
There's nothing I can do to protect or detriment or put any of them to their detriment. I don't.
Is what?
There's nothing I can do to protect anybody or to say anything to get them in trouble. I don't have any info. That's why I said I don't want to waste your time. This is just hurting me.
What part's hurting you?
The whole situation. I just want to go home.
Do you think you should go home?
I don't know. I know if I go home, I'm not gonna do anything.
If someone were just say to you, Mixie, go home right now, go home. Would you feel good about that?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Give me a chance to go to college, to watch my kids grow. I don't need to be a nurse, man.
What about Matt? You think he should go home? Huh?
I don't know. I don't know what he's done. I don't know what his life is like. I don't know whether he deserves to be here or not.
Well, you know he disposed of the gun, right?
I don't know.
I thought you read everything.
I did. That's what the report says, but just because it's what the report says doesn't necessarily mean it's true. I don't know.
Well, the thing is, the Google records showed us a map of his trails when he went to go toss the gun. He told us where the gun was. We recovered it from the water. I don't think it gets any clearer than that, right? So based on that clarity, does Matt deserve to go home?
I don't know. Maybe.
You don't know?
I don't. Like I said, I don't know anything and I don't want to waste your time.
I'm not wasting my time.
Like I said, I'm an emotional wreck and I'm still confused about a lot of things, and this is just not a good time to ask me things.
Are you confused about how you got drug into this? Is that confusing?
A lot of times, yeah.
What?
I said, yeah, a little bit, because I don't know. I don't know how I'm in this.
How do you think you got drug into this?
I don't know. Like I said, I don't know anything.
How'd you get to San Francisco?
I'm backpacking.
Why San Francisco?
I'd never seen the ocean before. I wanted to see the ocean. I wanted to see the ocean, and I wanted to be out. And I wanted to, I wanted to see more of the country. I've seen quite a bit of it now, and I'm happy with that.
Pretty beautiful.
Yeah, it's a really beautiful country. All of it. I used to hate it, but now I realize it's just the people. It's not the land itself.
So what caused you guys to leave?
I just didn't. I always told her that I wanted to go to California, and she always wanted to go to California, and I've never liked Missouri or Springfield. I've grown up here my whole life, seen about as much of it as a person can see, and the whole place disgusts me.
So she left her house and her car and her furniture and all of that, and she just left because she wanted to go?
Yep. That whole little deal out in front of the courthouse was kind of scary. Never had.
Scary for who?
Anybody. I'm terrified of police. I always have been, ever since I was a kid. My uncle and my family always, made it a pretty clear point that police aren't to be trusted with anything for any reason. Now I'm older and I've met so many nice ones that I don't even know whether I can believe that anymore.
There's good ones and bad ones out there. That's the truth. But I would say for the most part, police are good people trying to do what they can to, protect people. And that's why I do it. I've always told myself if I don't want to do it and I don't want to follow the rules, I might as well hang it up and find something different to do. And that's actually a promise I made to myself, that if I didn't feel like following the rules and I didn't feel like giving 100% of my effort every single day, do something different and save my spot for somebody who's willing to do it. So that's why I do it. It definitely isn't for the paycheck, because cops don't get paid diddly.
No, isn't it like minimum wage or something like that?
It's a little over minimum wage, but not a whole lot more. It's hard work, it's long hours, it's putting forth everything you have and being exhausted at the end of the day to make ends meet. And the only thing that keeps me coming back day after day is people. That's it.
That's a good reason to do it. And like I said, I wish I could help you. But I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to drag you out with just idle chit-chat. Because that's all I've got is idle chit-chat. That's all I want to do is talk.
Okay, well, you're not bothering me.
Just ain't got nothing important to say. Whatever they said, I don't know. I don't know anything. Just, I didn't even know why they were bringing me down here.
Well, it feels good not to be in the vest thing, right? What is it? A smock?
Yeah, but it was comfy for a little bit. You get all wrapped up in it. I sleep pretty much all day these days.
Really?
Yeah. I never sleep as much as I have since I've been in jail. When I'm outside here, I'm active, I run around, I take care of myself. I go to the park and I go on jogs. It's kind of hard to do that in here.
Right.
That's what I said. I don't know nothing.
Why did they have you on suicide watch?
Whenever I got with my second day in the Frisco jail, I tried to kill myself. I hate being in confined spaces, and the last time that I got in and it wasn't even just that, like I could deal with being in a confined space, but they kind of just plucked me suddenly off the street, and they put me in there, they took my clothes, they took my girlfriend from me, and I just lost it. I have a long history of just, up and deciding it's my time to go. Long history of that.
How'd you try to kill yourself?
Water intoxication. I read on the internet a while back, and I had some friends that told me that you could die by drinking too much water, and so I took a little carton of milk and I just filled it up with water, with a cup of water after a cup of water after a cup of water after a cup of water, and just kept drinking until eventually I flooded my floor by puking it all back up.
Not pleasant, right?
No. Nothing about this whole thing is pleasant. But
So tell me about telling Harriet about the pressure that you were being placed under by Teresa.
I don't know what kind of pressure. I didn't really, Harriet, I never really came to her with relationship problems about me and Teresa. I came to her with other relationship problems, but I never came to her with stuff about Teresa. I called her one night and I was just drunk off my ass and having an anxiety attack. I don't know what. Like I said, I don't want to go into any of this. I don't know anything, and you guys have got your report made the way that you want to see it. I don't want to.
I know you want it to be over. There's one side, there's a beginning, and there's an end, and then there is the way, that middle part from beginning to end. And you'll have to decide whether you want this end to be here or if you want it to be all the way out there. But the guy that doesn't remember anything, when he already told me that he doesn't lie and has no reason to lie, he's not being honest.
I guess there you go.
I know that everybody that I spoke to, the resounding theme about Teresa was the situation between Alex and Sophie. And that she had this belief that, Alex was doing this and Alex was doing that. So I know that you must have heard your fill of that.
Yeah, everybody did. Everybody. She told Sophie, it wasn't even just her. Sophie had come up to other people and said weird things on multiple occasions. It wasn't like that was some big secret. Whenever she wrecked her car a couple of years back, he took all of the money out of her account, and when she called to ask him if he could bring her some clothes, he said no, and his family blamed the car wreck on her.
Was that while they were together?
No, that was shortly after they had split up. That was right before the custody battle had started. Teresa thought things were going to be all right and that they were going to have a normal divorce, and she was willing to forgive him for him hitting her, and then her car just ends up not working one day after it worked perfectly fine, and she gets T-boned in an intersection and ends up in the hospital in a coma for about a little bit less than a week. And when she comes to, all of her money's out of her account. Alex is taken off with Sophie for 3 months, and nobody helped her with anything. And for 3 months, there were text messages back and forth of her asking where Sophie is and him not answering. To me, it sounds like he clipped the brakes on her car and tried to kill her and then took her money. But, that's just my theory. That's actually multiple people's theory on that.
Did anybody ever check the car?
The car was totaled. There was nothing to check. The car was totaled and Teresa barely survived.
But she was T-boned.
Yeah.
Did she try to stop and she couldn't?
That's what she told me. She said that she had amnesia from the 24 hours before that, and that the lady, and that she said the other driver involved had told her that, or not her, but it had reported that she was crossing an intersection and the car didn't stop. And then like that, everything went black, and she woke up a couple days later, and she was pretty broken up. She had 3 or 4 fractured ribs, and no one wanted to help her. Everybody just expected her to get back up out of the hospital and be fine, even though she had no family and no one to take care of her.
Where's your parents?
Her parents abused her. She ran away when she was 14.
Grandparents, aunts or uncles?
Grandparents also abused her. They were the place that she ran away to. That girl's fought her entire life for everything she has. I admire her.
She left it all behind.
Whenever the world keeps punching you in the face and pushing you down, eventually, yeah. And that's all Missouri does, is punch people in the face and push them down.
Missouri who?
Missouri, the whole state. This place it's toxic. Everything about it. The whole state is just a big meth ring that has nothing but problems. I know this state in and out. Lived here my whole life. I've heard all the good and all the bad, and the bad outweighs the good a lot. All that I like about it is that it's cheap to live here.
That's the truth.
Like I said, I ain't got nothing.
Who did Teresa buy the gun for?
She mostly just bought it to protect us and to protect the house. It was just, that wasn't even that's not really a big secret. People buy guns all the time. It was just...
I was just asking why she chose to buy a gun.
Just self-defense, in case anybody ever came by the house. We had heard some really crazy stuff. Like, if you stay up late at night, you can hear, gunshots at night in that neighborhood. And, Springfield's been getting crazy, and so she just wanted something to protect herself and to protect the house.
And you were there when she bought it, right?
When she bought it,
She what?
Yeah.
Did she buy it for you, or for her, or for the household communal gun?
She just bought it for self-defense, to protect the house and to protect herself. It wasn't... she just bought it for her. I like guns, but I've never really been too interested in owning one. I never tried to go out and buy one myself or get a license or go through any training or anything like that. It just wasn't of interest to me. Like I said, it's not abnormal to buy a gun.
No, but it's abnormal to put the wrong address on the gun transfer form, right?
I didn't watch any of the filling out or anything like that.
No, but you're saying it's not abnormal to buy a gun, and I'm saying to myself, well, it is abnormal to put the wrong address on that transfer form. So then she reported the gun stolen.
Oh,
What?
oh.
Do you remember that?
I mean, it's in the report.
I'm asking you if you remember it. You don't remember?
I just remember reading it in the report.
But you don't remember her telling you, oh my God, this gun's been stolen.
I mean, vaguely, but I didn't think it was a big thing. People steal things from vehicles in Missouri all the time. It's a pretty big thing here.
But it was a home defense gun, it wasn't a vehicle gun.
I mean, it was also bought because she had people like walk up to her window during deliveries and stuff and, act really sketchy because she had guys like try to flirt with her and then they'd get real mean and nasty when she wouldn't get out of the car. So there was that.
So you're saying that the gun was stolen?
It could have been. I don't know. Like I said,
But she reported it stolen.
I don't want to do this conversation anymore. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I wanna-
That's all right. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and take you back upstairs. And if you decide that you want to help yourself, you give me a call. Because I guarantee you that playing I don't know games is just going to get you deeper in. All right. And if you want to do that to yourself, you do it. All right. But right now, you're screwing yourself. Okay? All right.
As long as Tree's okay.
Cherie's not going to be okay.
She will.
I don't think so. But I will for sure tell her that you send your regards, okay?
Thank you, Detective. You have a seat right over here. Go ahead and close the door. Yep.
Let me make sure everything's up and running.
Thank you. Can I call you Mexi, or what do you want me to call you?
I prefer to go by Mixie.
Okay, good. And then, can I ask you what pronouns you like to go by?
She, her,
She, her, mother?
mother. Yeah.
Understood. Are you cold?
No, I'm just shaky.
Okay.
I'm a bit shaky.
Okay.
I don't know why. I don't do drugs or nothing. I'm just,
Yeah. I think it's kind of cold in here. I got a hoodie on, and I'm still cold. But I have a hoodie on all the time. You want some water? It's room temperature, so it won't make it colder. If you do want some, it's right there.
never mind. I don't know.
Yeah. Let me see if they're ready for us. Sorry.
At this point, Mixie's strategy begins to break under pressure. She contradicts herself multiple times, especially around when she knew Teresa bought the gun, what she knew about Alex's death, and what she did that night. Her body language, as noted by the interrogators, shifts, less weeping, more looking down, delayed answers, and repeating questions back to buy time. These are classic signs of cognitive strain, the mental toll of maintaining a lie while trying to remain emotionally credible. Detectives don't push aggressively. They use silence, reflection, and confusion to let her story unravel on its own. And it does. She begins giving maybe answers, forgetting key moments, and over-explaining emotional details that have nothing to do with the crime. When pressed about Alex's relationship with Sophie, Mixie subtly implies he might have been abusive, Again, not confirming, just suggesting. She's trying to moralize the murder without acknowledging it happened.
They make you wear a mask over there next door.
Yeah, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. It's just, it's,
We good to go? Yeah. Mike?
just sit here.
Sure. I'm Corporal Purdy with the Willard Police Department.
I recognize you.
Okay.
If you want to call that number when you're done, I'll come back
Okay.
over.
You recognize me without my beard?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if you would recognize me without my beard. We had to save it. We can only have it for so long.
I don't know. I kind of figured there'd be a couple days of people trying to ask me stuff, but I don't know anything.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. I need to go over your rights again with you. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say may be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer and have him present with you while you are being questioned. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you before any questioning if you wish. You can decide at any time to exercise these rights and not answer any questions or make any statements. Do you understand the rights that I've read to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Having these rights in mind, will you speak with me now? And if there's something you don't want to answer, you don't have to answer it. And you can stop at any time you want.
I guess I'll chit chat for a little bit.
All right.
I'm just saying, I don't got nothing important to say.
Okay. It is. Yes. Okay. So, where were you born, Mixie?
Springfield, Missouri.
Cox South or Mercy?
I can't remember. I think it was Cox, but it might have been Mercy.
Okay.
It's been a long enough time now.
And Ronnie is your mom. Who is your dad?
My father, his name's Casey Dean Woolsey, but I haven't seen him in pretty much my entire life, so.
Okay. Where did you go to school at?
It depends which grade. I've been to a couple different schools.
Yeah, I'll listen to them. I know a lot of the schools in Springfield.
I went to York for kindergarten. I went to Westport all the way up until 5th grade.
I went to Westport.
I went to Studi for 6th and 7th, and then for part of 8th grade, I went to Mooresville, and then the other part of 8th grade, I went to to the other side of Westport after they made it into a middle school.
Oh yeah, I heard they were going to merge the schools.
They did.
That's cool. I liked Westport.
And then high school,
Did you go to Central?
Yep.
Central?
Central and Mooresville, on and off.
What kind of student were you at Central High School?
I was never a very good student. I was never very smart. Didn't like school. And kids didn't like me, so.
Okay. What were some of the extracurricular activities? Did you do band or anything like that?
I did choir for a little bit.
Oh, nice.
Really, I tried some computer classes. I just never really found anything that was interesting to me. Art was really my only good subject.
Yeah. What kind of art?
Just, basic art classes. Any art class that would let me pull out my sketch pad and sit there and draw whatever I wanted.
Yeah.
If it wasn't that and they had something specific in mind, I could never pull it off. So my art teacher in Mooresville loved me because she could hand me any project and I could turn it into something.
Oh, that's pretty cool. My wife does sketch and You know, she never got into like sculpting or anything, but she likes painting and sketching, and she does pretty good at sketching. It's pretty neat. She'll like meet with my brother and his kids, and she'll just jot something down on a napkin. Well, I'm not artistic at all, and neither is my family, and they've seen it. They're like, oh, next time we go over to my brother's house, he has it framed. You know, it's a sketch of his daughter, you know, so that's pretty neat. Did you enjoy school?
Sometimes, and sometimes I didn't. I didn't enjoy being in class. I enjoyed hanging out with my friends in the hallway when I was supposed to be in class.
Yeah. Okay. What kind of grades did you get?
Nothing real good. I mean, you know, in classes that I liked, that I paid attention in, I got B's. If I didn't like them, I was lucky if I had a D. Most of my report cards came back pretty bad.
Oh, okay.
They don't know how to deal with kids with mental health problems.
Okay. Do you have mental health problems?
Some, just nothing I really like talking about, because I've learned how to get over a lot of my issues on my own.
Do you have any diagnosis?
They did diagnose me with schizoaffective disorder when I was younger, but that was several years ago. I don't even know if that's correct now.
Okay.
Especially since I was 13 when they diagnosed me, and their diagnosis was based off of a psych eval that I pretty much did not give two hoots about filling out the right way.
Yeah, I understand that, especially at 13. Did they follow up with that later, or did they just leave it at that?
They pretty much left it at that. I've asked people to get me another psych evaluation going, but nobody ever listened.
I'm going to infer something from that. And don't take this the wrong way, did Ronnie help you a lot as a mother, or were you kind of just on your own?
I mean, you know, she did what she could, but there were just times where she
She had her own things going on?
yeah, she was usually more interested in her boyfriends. I don't know why I'd want to know something like that, but
How would your classmates describe you?
depends on which classmates and which school. Ones out in Mooresville would make up all kinds of things about me because they bullied me. Ones in Springfield, you know, would say I think that they would say I'm pretty all right. They'd say I'm trustworthy, somebody that, you know, can be depended on.
Do you take any medications?
I do,
What kind of
actually.
meds do you take?
I take hormones. I take 6 milligrams of estradiol, and I take 200 milligrams of spironolactone. Estradiol is estrogen, and spironolactone are testosterone blockers. I'm a trans woman. But you guys already knew that.
I didn't know that you were taking hormone therapy for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That
Yeah.
makes it kind of awkward sometimes whenever they have to strip me down, and then they see up here, and then they also see down here, and it's just confusing.
Yeah. Yeah, I got some trans friends, and it's really difficult for them to come up with the type of money they need to have the reassignment surgeries.
Yeah, I'll never be able to come up with that kind of money. I can barely afford my medication.
And I kind of understand this stuff. So you do injections, or do you do injections with this, right?
So I take pills. I
Oh,
take like
okay.
I take dissolvable. My estrogen is dissolvable. My spironolactone is a pill that I can swallow.
Okay. I take a testosterone replacement therapy. It's an injection. When you get older, you know. All right. So tell me about 2020. What happened? You know, what was going on with you at the beginning of 2020?
Beginning of 2020. Oh, I was just.
Were you still married?
I've never been married.
Oh, you never been married?
No.
Okay, you have 2 children though, right?
Yep.
Okay, so did you guys go to court or anything for like a parenting plan or anything like that?
Nah, she talked to me about it several times, but I never really, we never really went to court.
So were you with her at the beginning of this year?
No.
Or beginning of 2020 rather?
No, in the beginning of 2020, I was kind of just floating around.
Floating around, okay. Okay. Where were you working at the beginning of 2020?
Worked at a couple different places. I worked at Brocade for a little while as a janitor, and then Walmart offered me a job, and that's the job I went with because it paid better and I got more hours.
Which did you like more?
Walmart.
Walmart, really? I had friends that do janitorial work at schools, and they like it because it's at night and no one's around them. They don't have to mess with anyone. They can just be by themselves, put in their earphones, listen to music, and just kind of chill out. They say it's low stress. The hours are sucky, but it's low stress. But you like Walmart more? Mm-hmm. Were you a cashier or were you stocking?
Stocking.
Stocking?
I liked stocking.
Yeah.
It'll get you fit too.
Oh, I bet it will. My uncle worked at Associated Wholesale Grocers, and he would build the pallets, and he was very strong from doing that. But he would get sore from it too. He'd be sore on his days off. So when did you meet Teresa?
Not too long after I started working at Walmart. I probably met her around June-ish.
Okay.
Like near the end of June, early July. Sometime in between there. But,
You guys, how did you meet?
she just saw me sitting in the lunchroom by myself one day, and she came up and she sat down and started talking to me, and she admitted to me that people said to kind of steer clear of me because I was weird, and she didn't really want to listen to them. She wanted to give me a chance. So
That's great.
We became pretty good friends from there. I pretty much came over to her house crying anytime something bad happened to me.
What were some of the bad things that happened that you confided in her in?
Just, boy problems. Anytime I had problems with dudes or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I was sexually assaulted last year, I came to her and I talked to her quite a bit about it because I was really confused and didn't know what to think.
Did you report that to the police?
No.
No. So you were just dealing with that on your own?
Yeah. Yeah. That's how it's happened anytime that's happened to me in my life.
Oh, man. But Teresa was helping you, right?
Yeah.
That's good. I'm sorry.
It's okay. You don't gotta be sorry.
So it was in the lunchroom at Walmart?
Yeah.
Okay. How old are your children?
My youngest is 2. My oldest is 3.
What are their names?
Anastasia and Dylan. Anastasia's the oldest one. Dylan's the youngest one.
Gotcha. Thank you. What kind of mother are you to them?
Well, I'm locked up. I mean, not much of one. I mean, I call and, whenever their mom can get them to talk to me,
Yeah, they're still kind of young to talk, aren't they?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Before I was going to see him I was going to see him once a weekend and stuff like that. Like, I visited him, I think, every Sunday. It was just usually so busy with going to work, and then by the time that I was not working, I didn't really want to go anywhere. So I just took Sunday as the one day I'd come out and see him.
I understand that. The way I think of it is, If you're at Walmart when you're around crowds of people, you don't want to be around crowds of people on your days off. You don't want to go drive in traffic. You just want to stay at home in your zone, you know? That's how I am. Okay. Did you shoot Alex and Brianna?
No, sir.
Okay. Do you know who did?
No, sir. I don't know anything about any of that.
Okay. How did you find out that Alex had been killed?
The news.
The news? What day did you find out on the news?
I can't remember exactly what day. I'm really bad with dates, but it wasn't real long after. Or I figured it wasn't real long after from the report. And it was just like whenever it all started first being released out on the news.
What did it make you feel?
I didn't know what to feel. I don't know him. Never did know him. I had asked Teresa before if I could get to know him, but I never really got the opportunity to.
Why not?
I don't know. Anytime I asked to meet him and talk to him, she said he wasn't trustworthy and that he just was a bad guy, and so I guess I just kind of deterred from going to talk to him. I was wanting to eventually sit down and all of us talk and, you know, get all whatever their bad blood was worked out, but it just never worked out that way.
And why was there blood between them?
She told me a lot of things. She told me that she told me he used to beat on her, and he'd tell everybody it was because he had PTSD, but she said he had never been deployed to combat. She told me that he would hurt Sophie. Sophie told me that he would hurt her. I don't know anything. That's all.
What did Sophie say?
There were times where we'd go to pick up Sophie because she got into a habit of bringing me with her to pick Sophie up, and we went out to pick her up, and you know, she would be happy and lucky and stuff like that whenever we first picked her up, but she was always like that when she first saw her mom. And then a couple times after that, she started coming home and telling us, well, I don't like being a dad. Dad's mean. And I was just like, well, why? And she'd tell me stuff like he hit her and kicked her, and you know, she said that he touched her and stuff like that. I don't know.
What does that mean, touched her?
So I touched her private parts. And she told us that, you know, and she started doing this thing where she'd come home and she'd throw up her food, and I never knew why. We offered her everything there was under the sun to, you know, to see if it was like she didn't like something or if it was an allergy, and anything we tried to feed her, she'd throw it up. And then eventually she started she would start asking at the beginning of meals, hey, can I go to the bathroom? And, you know, the first couple times we were like, sure. And then after a while, it got really suspicious, and Teresa found her in the bathroom during meals after a while, like pushing on her stomach, making herself throw up. And neither of us knew why. And it freaked me out because I've never seen a kid do that before. I don't know, I hate when little kids tell me stuff like that. But I don't know, like I said, I don't know nothing. And I don't want to waste your time. I told Shannon the same thing. I don't know anything, and I'm not here to cause anybody problems or waste anybody's time.
Okay, you're not wasting my time. I want to know how you feel about this. No. So how would you describe Alex as a father?
I wouldn't know. Again, I never got to meet him or really see him around Sophie. I mean, from the way he talked when he picked her up, I mean, he didn't seem like he was too bad of a guy. Like, he seemed like, you know, he was pretty nice.
How did he treat you during the exchanges?
I mean, you know, he didn't really converse with me. Then I didn't really converse with him. He was usually pretty nice. I mean, you know, sometimes he'd say, hi, how are you? And I'd wave or something like that. It was usually a really small, brief interaction. and I didn't know him or any of that.
Okay. What kind of mother is Brianna?
I don't know. I saw even less of her. I never really met her at all. Actually, I had seen her face, and that was about it.
How did you see her face?
She would usually sit in the car right next to us during exchanges.
Where would you guys meet at?
So there's a Walmart up there before you get off on Highway 13, and that's where we always met him. We met him like right by the lot cop, so that we could do the exchange there.
Where at again? On 13?
It's a superstore on off of 13. I know it real well because my grandma used to work there when I was a kid, and it's like on the way to my grandparents.
Is it like a gas station? Or is it by the new Dollar General?
It's across the street from Golden Corral.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. When's the last time you saw Alex?
At the last time we exchanged.
Do you know when that was?
I don't remember now. It's actually been quite a while.
Because you guys were having some going back and forth, right? Where he wasn't giving Sophie back. Is that right or wrong?
That is correct. After that last exchange, we went to pick her up the weekend after that, and we were told that he wasn't to give her back to us. And Teresa thought he was lying. She thought that he was just trying to keep her from us, or she thought that maybe he lied to CPS or something like that. I didn't really know a whole lot about all of it. I usually let that be their deal.
Okay. So, was DFS, were they Department of Family Services? How did they handle the situation? Did they handle it effectively, or how do you think of it?
Well, whenever they came out to talk to us, I mean, Teresa had like some papers laid out. She had all kinds of information. She had like old doctor's reports that like showed bruises and stuff that Sophie had had. She had had, months worth of text messages on paper where she had asked Alex for where Sophie was for 3 months, and he didn't tell her. And there was all kinds of stuff, and they didn't really seem to care too much, what she had to say. Whenever she tried to show them the paperwork, they said, "I'm not going to get involved in your custody battle."
That's what DFS said?
Yeah, which that didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But
Yeah, because that's kind of what they're for,
yeah.
Family Services. Family Services, that's their name. Department of Family Services. You ever think to yourself, I wish Alex would just go away?
No, it was not my place to think things like that.
Did Teresa think that?
I don't know. I mean, she didn't like him. I knew that. I can't imagine her doing something like that.
Doing something like what? Oh, no, I'm just saying wish. I'm not saying that she did anything. I'm just saying, did you guys ever talk about it and be like, man, I wish this guy would just go away? I wish, how great would my life be if I just had Sophie all the time and didn't have to deal with all his drama?
No, we never really discussed anything like that. Trust me, we liked having a little bit of time away from her because she was a handful. I mean, I appreciated, that she was still able to see her father and her mother, because my kids, they spent all their time around their mom for about the first year of both of their lives. I wasn't around all that much.
Did you not know about the kids, or did you know and just had other stuff going on?
I knew about them, and I just had other stuff going on. I had my head up my butt.
Oh, yeah. Because you're young, right? How old are you, 20?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not even 21 yet.
So at the beginning of 2020, you were probably a teenager still.
Yeah, I was 19.
Yeah. Okay. So doggone, if they're 2 and 3, shoot, how old were you? 16 or 17 and 18?
Yep.
Okay. When they were born?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so something did happen to Alex. Why do you think someone would harm Alex?
I don't know. I really don't. I have no clue why someone would do that. I mean, to me, there's just nothing in this world that you can do that's wrong enough for someone to play God with you. It's just not fair. Everybody deserves a chance to right their wrongs.
I believe that.
In the final stretch, Mixie is unraveling. Her speech slows. Her logic breaks down. She speculates about brake lines being cut and says Alex might have been planning something. She's now in fantasy narrative territory, creating a larger context of danger to rationalize the killing. Her memory fades in and out, sometimes detailed, sometimes I can't remember. She offers no confession, but by now, it's clear. She knows what happened. Her tears are real, but they're for her own loss, not for Alex. The final phase of this interrogation isn't about facts. It's about watching the performance collapse. Mixie is exhausted, caught in emotional contradictions and circular logic. The detective doesn't need a confession. Mixie's own emotional decay tells the story.
Same question about Brianna. Why would someone harm Brianna?
That I know even less about. I have no clue why someone would hurt her. I don't know her. I don't know her life. I don't know anything about her. I've heard a little bit about Sophie since this whole thing, though. I'm glad to hear she's okay.
What'd you hear about Sophie?
Shannon told me that she is, well, I already knew that she was in the custody of her grandparents, but she told me that she is in therapy and that she's doing all right and that she's getting through all this, and I think that's real good. She's a real strong kid, real smart girl, just like her mom.
Good. Okay, I know this incident has affected several people, but who, like, if you had to name, like, the real true victims in all this, who do you think the real true victims are?
I have no clue.
No.
I mean, I wouldn't know. I guess it just depends on how you look at it.
How do you look at it, though? I want to know what you think. I want to know what your feelings are on this. I think people have talked to you and they glossed over what you think and what your feelings are, and that's important to me, and that's why I'm here.
I don't know. I don't know how to answer that question. I'm sorry.
Okay. Some people would say that, of course, Alex and Brianna were the true victims. Other people would say Sophie's the true victim. You know, other people might say, you know, Matthew Plum is the true victim, or you're the true victim, or Teresa, folks that are incarcerated, you know, are the real victims, but you don't have any.
No.
Okay.
I don't believe it's up to me to decide who the real victim is and all of it. It sounds like everybody's got a raw deal.
Yeah, definitely. Is there anyone that you would be suspicious of? Would you be suspicious of Matthew or anyone like that?
I mean, he always seemed a little bit off to me, but I wouldn't see him doing something like that. He seemed like a nice enough guy.
How did you know him?
I didn't know him real well. I knew him mainly through Teresa because she talked about him. You know, she had told me stuff about him on several occasions. The only time I ever met him was whenever we would go make pizza and come back home. Those were the only times I ever saw him. And, you know, he's not big on trans people, and I'm not big on rednecks who aren't big on trans people. So we never really, our interactions were always kind of rigid and brief, nothing real.
Yeah, it seems like you get, in Springfield, it seems like you get people that are really hot or really cold, but no people that are just kind of indifferent. They have to You know, if they're against it, they got to say it for some weird reason.
And I mean, the thing is I can be okay with people who are against it. I've had friends, you know, whenever I first went through my transition, at first they were like, man, I've known you my whole life as this. How am I going to know you as this? And I was like, well, I'll tell you what, whenever you come around, you'll come around. And until then,
Yeah,
just respect me as me.
exactly. And that's what it comes down to, is respect.
Yeah. I think everybody deserves respect.
Definitely. Definitely. And like I told you the day that I met you, I will treat you with respect, and I wasn't lying. When did you start your transition, if you don't mind me asking? Was it 2020?
I said a year and a half whenever I had told her, but it's actually been over a year and a half. It was middle of 2019, so it's been almost 2 years. So it's been a bit over a month and a half. I think in either June or July it'll have been 2 years. They haven't had me on my meds since I've been here though, and I really wish they'd give them to me because, like, you know, I need them.
I understand that.
I don't feel right, and I don't feel comfortable in my own skin without them.
I understand that. Because of my testosterone replacement therapy. It just makes even like your moods and emotions feel different. You know?
It does.
Mhm.
It makes me feel a lot better. I'm less angry. I find it's easier to cry instead of just start yelling, because that used to be my go-to as a kid. I'd just start yelling at you if you made me mad. But after I started taking hormones, everything changed. I don't like yelling at people, and I don't really like conflict at all. I try to avoid conflict at all costs if I can.
Okay. So, I know you said that Sophie told you that Alex did some bad things, and those are truly bad things. If he did those things, those are bad things. Do you think that he deserved to die?
No.
Okay. Why not?
Death just isn't the answer to those things. There's always a better way. I mean, I personally don't think I think people who do stuff like that have been hurt in their life and they need help.
I think that too.
I think anybody who does anything bad in their life has been hurt and needs help and needs somebody to talk to.
Yeah. I do too. And you know what happens? Sometimes those people fall between the cracks and they don't get the help they need. It can be something as far as money, insurance, instability at home, instability in relationships, stress that, just stress that people shouldn't have to deal with, And so then you're going through something and then you have the stress on top of it. There's a cause for every effect. There's a cause for every effect. There's no black and white anymore. There's not bad guy, good guy. It's all grays. It's all grays, and life is hard. Okay. I don't know that you said that Sophie told you anything about Brianna, but did she deserve to die?
No.
Why not?
I can't even say it because, like I said, I didn't know her at all. I knew nothing about her. How am I supposed to say that about somebody that I've never even met before?
Fair enough. That makes sense to me. Mixie, tell me why you could have done this.
It's just not me. It's just not a thing that I'm willing to do. It's a dark thing, and it's a really dark path to take. And I was out getting drunk with my friends anyway. Of course, ever since this whole thing, everybody thinks something bad about me, so I don't got really any friends anymore. So, I mean, like I said,
Who were you drinking with that night?
I think I'm done with questions, by the way. I think we go back upstairs.
Okay. I think there's a story here. I think you have a story that people don't understand. I'm reading stuff on Facebook. Your stuff's going on Facebook. And people are saying negative stuff about you. They're saying really rotten stuff about you. And I don't think they know the whole story, and I don't think it's fair.
That doesn't matter, man. I just want to go back up to myself.
Okay, you can do that if you like. Thank you for giving me a chance to talk to you. Go ahead and have a seat. I gotta call someone to come get you, okay?
Okay.
This is Corporal Purdy with Willard Police Department. Boggle doesn't want to speak with me anymore. Mexie doesn't want to speak with me anymore. So I was told to call this number to have her picked up.
Give me just a couple minutes and I'll be able to.
Okay, will do. Thank you. Bye. Thank you for talking to me and treating me with respect.
That's no problem.
Do you want some water? It's for us. I'm gonna have some.
When I say friends, I mean just, I don't even remember their names. They were homeless people that I picked up along the way. Sometimes I hang out and I'll smoke a joint with some of the homeless people around here.
Mm-hmm.
It's just,
I used to live on the north side, and I lived by Grant Beach Park, and so there's a lot of homeless people there, and I got along with all of them. They never did anything wrong to me. They were always nice.
plus I'd have to go into where I found them, and I don't like giving people sleeping spots away.
I understand that.
I know what it's like to be on the street. There have been cold nights where alcohol's all that kept me warm.
I do believe there's more to this story to go. And if you do decide that you want to talk to me about it, I will listen. I will treat you with the same respect I did today, the same respect that I've treated you with the entire time. My name's Purdy, like the town. So if you want to talk to someone, or maybe you don't feel comfortable talking to Shannon, you want to talk to me, my name's Steve Purdy, and I'll talk with you. And I'll treat you well. I will not be rude to you.
I'm thirsty.
Yeah, me too. I'm pretty thirsty early in the morning. It'll take him a second, I guess. I'm gonna go ahead and open the door though, okay? Okay. That way they know.
Are you guys gonna keep coming back up here to talk to me? Because I keep telling everybody I don't know anything, but they keep bringing me back down here.
How would you like us to handle that?
Honestly, just want to be left alone. I'm not bothering anybody here, and I pretty much spend all day sleeping, so whenever somebody comes to get me, they're just waking me up.
Mm-hmm.
I only get up to eat, and that's really about it.
So moving forward, what do you think would be the best way?
I don't know.
Do you think,
I really need to be allowed to sit down and talk to my lawyer. That's what I need.
oh yeah, you can do that. Definitely can do that. Do you have a lawyer appointed to you yet?
No, I just applied for a public defender. I don't really have any money.
All right, thank you, Mixie.
Go ahead and turn around for me.
Yes, sir.
Step back this way. Good.
Yes, sir, thank you.
Stop up.
Duncan Bogle, aka
Mixie Jones never says, I did it. But her performance, from overemphasizing her trauma, subtly demonizing Alex, and constantly framing herself as a passive bystander, reveals a strategy rooted in manipulative grief and emotional redirection. She knew more than she admitted. She avoided the truth, not with lies, but with storytelling. Subscribe to Inside Evil Interrogations for more real-time breakdowns like this. Was Mixie a manipulated lover or an emotional co-conspirator? Drop your thoughts in the comments.